Hey guys, it's Jalen and I'm back for another video, and today we're going to be doing episode 2. Now I know in the previous video that I just did, I'm going to pop it right here, the previous video that I just did with me dyeing my hair, yeah, so this is the same day as that, just, I'm just wearing something different. Well, I'm not wearing anything different, I'm wearing the same thing. So today we're going to be talking about the continuation. This is going to be episode 2, and I previously mentioned this in my Pride 2019 story time, and there's going to be people from the story time where I fought my ex. Those two people, there's going to be people from those two story times. I forgot what I named them, so we're going to switch up their names, but for reference of who these people are, go watch those 2 videos. Yeah, so let's just get on into this fucking video. Play the intro. Okay, so where I last left off, Cake was telling me how, oh, we're gonna go to Pride, we're gonna live it up, we're gonna go to Pride, we're gonna enjoy ourselves, have a good time. And remember, I said in my Pride 2019 story time, Mr. Cake was the one to initiate this plan to Pride, and that's where I met this boy. Okay, so we're gonna follow up with what happened. This is what happened. This story time is going to be about what happened after that, those events. I'm not gonna talk about what happened at Pride. Again, I'm not gonna tell that whole story again because I already did the video on it. I'm gonna pop it up here. I already did the video on it. So if you guys wanna know what happened between Cake telling me that he wants to go to Pride for us to find boyfriends, but if you want to know what happened at that Pride event specifically, then you can go watch that video. I'll link it down below in the description. That will be linked down below, or I'll see if I could put a card for that to be uploaded. But yeah, so we're gonna continue from after the event. So after the event, after the whole situation, remember how I said I was talking to what's this boy's name? Hold on. Let me go look at the video and then see what I named this boy so everything can make sense. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I had named him Dylan. So Dylan, this is when I was talking to Dylan. Now, you can also go watch, also for reference on my situation with Dylan, you can go watch the he had a boyfriend story time. I'll pop that up right here as well, and I'll link that down below, so you guys can see that video and get the background on me and Dylan. But anyways, this is during the time that I was talking to Dylan. And remember how I said Dylan had a boyfriend? Well, that boyfriend, I think I also mentioned in that video too that I was dating, that I dated the boyfriend after. It was a whole messy situation. And then yeah, so we're just gonna get into what happened after. So let's get into this because, girl, we ain't about to waste no damn time. This is about to be y'all just get y'all popcorn, get y'all tea, get y'all blunt, get y'all zip, get whatever the fuck y'all need. Get your wax pen, I don't give a fuck, get your vape, hookah, get something, girl, get some food, I don't know. Get whatever you need to get, because this story is about to be real juicy. Okay, so after the Pride event, me, Cake, and for now, I think my bestie's name was Jake, because this has to do with my current bestie. Remember how I said in my Pride 2019 video that Jake and Cake, yeah, I'm gonna change his name from Jake to something else. Jake and Cake were in a relationship. So we're gonna change Jake's name to Pretty. So Pretty and Cake were in a relationship already. They had started dating or whatever. And I was talking to Dylan. So being that I was talking to Dylan at the time, I found, me talking to Dylan, it was cute, it was whatever, but I was mostly hanging out with my bitches. So it was my birthday. I invited everybody out. I'm gonna say who I invited. We're gonna name him, this is my ex, so we're gonna name him, not the one that I fought. We're gonna name him we're gonna name him Butterfly. And his boyfriend at the time, we're gonna name him Frog. So Butterfly and Frog, yeah. So I invited Butterfly and Frog, Cake and, what did I just name this bit? Pretty. Cake and Pretty were the only ones that showed up, but Butterfly told me that they didn't show up because Frog basically was skeptical about coming because they just met me, da-da-da-da, whatever. Brushed it off. So Cake and Pretty, we're going out for my birthday. We're going to Coney Island. We went on all the rides. I kind of felt like a third wheel, but then again, Pretty is my bitch for life. So obviously I wanted my bitch there. And then, you know, Cake, that was my bitch at the time. So obviously I'm gonna want Cake there too. So, there's gonna be a lot of other story times mentioned in this too. I'm about to also bring up the I had to hide it story time. That story time also mentions what they did, but how it involved me. So I'm not gonna skate past that, but we're gonna get into it. So basically, me and Pretty, we basically were just, you know, chilling. They were taking pictures of me. We went out. It was cute. I had a nice time for my birthday that year. It was pretty cute, pretty chill. Every other time after that, we hung out almost every weekend. When I tell you almost every weekend, we was hanging out almost every weekend. So then another weekend skips. Mind you, I'm still talking to Dylan. Another weekend skips, and then, you know, oh, fuck. What did we do that day? Yeah, another weekend skips, and then I met the ex that I fought. I forgot what I named him, but that's not important right now because he's just coming up because that's when I met him. That's when I first met him. It was me, Pretty didn't come. It was me, Cake, and I'm gonna name this other person Diamond. It was me, Diamond, and Cake. We went to Butterfly and Frog's house. So we were all chilling there, having a good time. Everybody's getting to know each other. Mind you, Dylan is with me. I'm on the couch with Dylan. We're being real coupley or whatever. That's what that was giving. But then Cake says, you know what, let's leave. So then I leave with them or whatever, go back, and then it comes around the time where I start school. The rest of what happened, go watch the He Had a Boyfriend story time, and that's where you can find out about me and Dylan. You can go watch that story time. But yeah, so now we're flowing into what happened after that. So after that, I started to go to school. School was actually pretty enjoyable for me. I did really enjoy school. It was just that I realized that it wasn't for me, especially the path that I wanted to go down. I wanted to go to cosmetology school, get this good old license, be this good old nail tech, you know, make this coin, and do what I gotta do and live my dream, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up dropping out. But when I was going to school, I started talking to the one that I fought. I'm gonna go look at the video to see what I named him. Okay, so we had named him Joshua. So we're gonna stick with Joshua. So, mind you, I'm going to school doing my thing. I'm still talking to Joshua. My dog's in the background. I'm still talking to Joshua. Me and Joshua's chilling or whatever, vibing out, getting to know each other, whatever. I'm going to school, minding my business. Me and Cake, this is where we started falling off because Cake wasn't Cake just wasn't agreeing to a lot of the things that I was doing, like as far as the guys that I was talking to. But Cake loved Joshua. Cake loved Joshua for me. Cake thought Joshua was the best option for me. Thought that Joshua was it. He just loved Joshua. Like, it gave the vibe of if I didn't date Joshua, Cake would definitely try to date Joshua. And mind you, Joshua was not Cake's type at all. Joshua is more my type. And so when Cake was given all of that, I was like, girl, you given that you like him too. So it's either you're going to be with him or I am. But he ended up bagging me. But, yeah, and that's no shade to Cake. Well, Cake is a fake-ass bitch. We're going to get into how Cake is a fake-ass bitch. But, no. It's just not going to give. It's just not gonna give. Y'all not gonna live for Cake. Y'all probably already don't live for Cake because he says the N-word and he's very much so not black. So yeah, y'all already probably don't live for him already. Y'all definitely not gonna live for him because he's fake as fuck. But we're not gonna speak too much on him, but he has a lot to do with what happens next. So I end up going through it, girl, just going through it and going through it and going through it. I'm going back and forth at this time now. I'm going back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house. Mind you, I was going to college in New York. I went to BMCC. That's where I was going to college at. My dad lived in Brooklyn, so it's easier for me to get from my dad's house to my school than from my mom's house in Jersey. So majority of the time I'll be with my dad. There would be some weeks in August where I did not even go back to Jersey. I stayed there. When I came back, however, I had my hair done or whatever. It was in braids. My mom, she was reading me for having braids because my mom was never accepting of my femininity. She never really accepted my femininity. She allowed my stepfather to do so much shit to me, so much traumatic shit that I don't know if I want to get into it on YouTube, but just because this happened in 2019 and this was a game changer. You guys are gonna see why this moment right here was a game changer. But yeah, so basically me and my mom, we get into it, then her bum gets involved. We're gonna call him Frank. Frank gets involved, and Frank decides that he wants to tell my mom that, oh, since he wants to be all up in New York, he don't want to be here and forgets about being here. He's not working. He's not doing any of this. He's just going to school. He can get the fuck out. And then he tells me, oh, you need to get the fuck out. They kicked me out or whatever. Long story short, they kicked me out or whatever. Me and my mom kept going back and forth. Then she was telling me to get the fuck out. They were both telling me to get the fuck out. And it was just a whole big situation. So she had kicked me out or whatever. And then I knew that I had to go to school the next day. And I knew I had to go back to my dad's house. But my dad had went away at this time. At this time, my dad was in Connecticut. So he wasn't even home. So I was fucked. And I had nothing to do. So honestly, y'all, I had to rough it out. I had to find a way to sleep somewhere, find a way to move around. And that's just I'm being God's honest truth. That's just what I had to do. So doing that, I'm texting Cake. I'm texting not Dylan. I'm texting Joshua. I'm texting them. And, I'm trying to actually, tell them what's going on and stuff. They're trying to figure out what to do. So then Joshua gets the idea to go to Butterfly's house. So then I text Butterfly. I explained to Butterfly everything that's going on. I met up with Butterfly and this girl, we're going to call her Dusty. So I met up with Butterfly and Dusty, and this is the first time meeting Dusty. I thought Dusty was a cool person, filling out Dusty's vibe. Bitch seemed real cool. Turns out, bitch isn't real cool. That's all. It's a whole lot that happened after, even now, that's going on with Dusty. And I can't get into what's happening now. So I'm going to get into the past. We're going to talk the past. So Dusty was cool or whatever. We ended up, me and Butterfly took Dusty back to where Dusty was. At the house, not Dusty's house, at Butterfly's house, there's this other boy. We're going to call him, I forgot what I called him in the I Had to Hide It story time, so we're just going to give him a new name. We're going to call him Jasper. So Jasper was at the house, and I was on the train with Butterfly. We headed back to the house or whatever. We were all chilling or whatever. Then me and Jasper kind of get into some things, if you know what I mean. We get into some things. So feelings start going around, but not like feelings like relationship feelings, like lustful shit starts happening. Then I end up getting into a sexual situation that night with Butterfly, Frog, and Jasper. So that ended up happening. So we're just gonna scoot on past that. Mind you, I'm still talking to Joshua, and Joshua has no idea that this happened. But Joshua told me to go there mainly because I would be safe there, and then I was supposed to go back to where Joshua lives. So that ends up happening. So the next day, Josh was like, okay, well, I got you a train ride down there. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I had went to sleep. I woke up and I had missed the train and I completely forgot about it. So I'm texting him like, damn shit, I missed the train, I was sleeping. So then I waited for him to text me back. He didn't text me back for a minute. So then me and Jasper just sitting there. We was watching the Melanie Martinez K through 12 movie. We were sitting there watching that movie and just chilling or whatever, watching it. Jasper's kind of trying to get into it because he's not really into Melanie, but I kind of got him into Melanie and delved into like that type of way. But yeah, so we're sitting there chilling. I think I explained a lot of this. I think a lot of what I'm explaining to you guys now, I'm kind of just giving you guys a little bit of a recap to who these people are. But I did explain in the Joshua story, all of this that I'm explaining to you now. I'm just giving you guys a refresher. But you guys can really go watch the Joshua story time so that you guys can know what happened there. So I'm going to fast forward past that. So then we end up moving. Everybody ends up moving in. Pretty comes back. Pretty's back. So Pretty ends up staying at Butterfly's crib as well. So we all end up living at Butterfly and Frog's crib. All of us chill on a day-to-day basis. Y'all already know who Elephant is, but I'm going to change Elephant's name. Elephant has a whole series of story times coming too. And I'm going to tell Elephant story times at the same time that I'm telling you guys these. There's a whole bunch more that I still haven't told y'all. I told y'all the he fucked the plug story time. I told y'all a lot of story times that had happened over the course of 2019, but there's still a whole lot more that I still have to tell you guys. So this series is just gonna go over that. When you guys look at the other story time videos, I'm not going to include them in this series, but just know that those specific story times go along with this specific series. So I'm going to skip over me and Joshua fighting, me and Joshua splitting up and then getting back. I'm going to skip over all of that. So we finished August. Mind you, I dropped out of school already. This is about the time I dropped out of school. September, I was there. We got through most of September. October hits. So then I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I did mention this also in another story time. I'm gonna try to see where the story time is, but we ended up having a party. It was Butterfly's birthday. We had Butterfly's birthday party in the house, and Butterfly, and you already know Elephant did the on the sausage. He had on the sausage. So being that he did all of that on the sausage, I think I told you guys that I think that was another story time. When I find it, it'll probably pop up on the screen as well. But that happens. So then after that, we all were like, close. We were all really close. That's the thing about it. In the beginning, we was all so close. And then the way everybody just divided was crazy. So I told y'all the story time about Elephant getting thrown on the fucking fire escape naked. That story time's hilarious. But all of those story times coincide with this, so I'm skipping past all of this, but I'm just trying to give you guys a rundown so you guys know what happened in order of what. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm going to change Elephant's name. We're going to change his name to... We're going to change his name to Fraudulent. We're going to change Elephant's name to Fraudulent. So, me, Pretty, and Fraudulent, we became the trio. We became the dynamic trio, not duo, trio. We became the dynamic trio. We had a ball. The three of us would always have a ball together. Trust and believe the three of us would have a ball together. So fast forwarding, we skip past October. I end up having to leave Butterfly and Frog's house. Frog didn't like me. So now I'm going to tell you how that happens. So, remember how I said Cake is a fake-ass bitch? Okay, so because Cake did not like me around Butterfly or Frog, that whole type of energy, Cake didn't even want Pretty to be around all of that energy, and that led to a whole bunch of problems that they had. But that's Pretty's business, and if Pretty wants that to be known, then Pretty can let that be known. I'm not going to tell Pretty's business on this damn fucking YouTube. But I am going to tell y'all what the fuck this fake-ass bitch Cake done did. So I had went to go get my ID or whatever with my grandfather. I had went to go get my New York State ID, got that shit done, secured the bag, got all of that, came back, found out that Cake had a whole conversation with Frog and was dogging me out, calling me all types of hoes, bitches. Oh yeah, Jalen ain't never gonna be nothing. He ain't never gonna be shit. He just wants to use people. He's depressed because his parents done kicked him out because he's a dirty ass bitch. Da-da-da-da. You can't trust that bitch. That bitch been fucking your nigga since this long. Da-da-da-da. Just dogging me out. Dogging me the fuck out to Frog. Frog then takes that because now Frog finds out that me and Butterfly were having feelings for each other. So since Frog found that out, Frog decided to tell me that I had to leave. So then I ended up leaving. But then Fraudulent comes in and Fraudulent lets me stay with him. So now fast forwarding past that, me and Fraudulent will be in Fraudulent's house, chilling or whatever, staying with him. Cool, everything's copacetic. That's fine, right? So living with Fraudulent, it wasn't actually that bad. His mother always cooked for us. She was always nice. She gave me money. She trusted me more with the money than her own son. That's a whole nother thing in itself because Fraudulent's mom could not stand Fraudulent and how Fraudulent used to act. Fraudulent's mom would beg me and even beg Butterfly, and also she would even beg freaking Pretty to just try to change this boy. Fraudulent was such a horrible person towards his mother. His mother never did nothing to him. She just wanted him to excel and be the best person he could be. But he was never accepting that. Fraudulent just never wanted to listen to his mom. So when I was living with Fraudulent, it was like, we was always trying to tell him he was getting into bad things. He was doing the COKE. He was doing a whole lot of shit that his mother was just very disappointed him in. So she would beg all of his friends to try to pick him up, get him a job, get him to do certain things. And he failed at everything. He resulted to scamming. He started scamming. Like, we're going to get into, like I said, Elephant is his own series. So I'll get more into Elephant when I talk about Elephant. Well, I call him Fraudulent. I'll talk more about Fraudulent when I talk about Fraudulent, but Fraudulent just done so much fraudulent shit. That's why I'm calling you Fraudulent, bitch. And I can't really speak on Fraudulent too much. There's some things I gotta take care of first before I speak on Fraudulent fully, but don't worry. That Fraudulent story time is coming. That whole series about Fraudulent is coming. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're gonna touch on some of the things that Fraudulent and I have done with Pretty and the shit we used to do, like we ran story time. Yeah, that story time. See, Fraudulent used to get us into all types of trouble. That's why, like, Butterfly would stay away, and we would try to get Butterfly included in what, and hang out with us, but Butterfly just could not be around Fraudulent. He just didn't like Fraudulent. They used to get into so much shit because Butterfly he threw Fraudulent on a fire escape naked. So, they used to get into it a lot. But we're not here to discuss those things. We're here to talk about the rest of all of that because I had already explained all of those situations previously. So now we're going to move on to when I was living in with Fraudulent. And living with Fraudulent, like I said, wasn't bad. His mom just wanted me to help him do better. And, that I could respect, that I could understand, because at the end of the day, I saw that he was going downhill, and I even tried. I tried my hardest to change this boy. This boy would not change for shit. He probably still is now some bum, lame person, and it's not me talking shit. I'm not trying to speak badly on him and wish ill on him, but it's just like the way that he is and what he's done to me physically, that I'll get into at a later date. It was just so much shit that Fraudulent had did. I can't even put it into one video. You know what I'm saying? I think for that specific situation on what happened between me and Fraudulent, I don't think I'm going to make it a series. I don't know. I'm thinking about making it a series, but since I'm doing the 2019 series, I'm kind of covering a lot of the bases with Fraudulent, and I'm kind of talking about the stuff that happened with Fraudulent within this timeline. So I think I'm just going to do it through 2019, and then that specific situation, I'm going to talk about it with Fraudulent. So, yeah. Well, I don't know, because y'all will see whatever, but I'm leaning more towards doing a whole series because this is just the 2019 series. I'm just telling y'all the stories from 2019. This series is probably not going to have a lot of episodes. It's probably going to have a couple of episodes. Then right after that, I'm going to start, because 2020, I was going to make a 2020 series, but I think I'm just going to make that the the Fraudulent series. I think I'm just going to make that I'm just going to give him that whole series, because all that whole 2020 year, it was nothing but getting into shit with him. And then all of, first half of 2021, then that big shit happened. That's the big situation that happened between me and Fraudulent. That's where I'm going to end the fraudulent series, and then we'll go into another shit, and we'll talk about other stuff that I've done or been through before. But yeah, so I hope you guys, like, you know, are enjoying this ride or whatever. I took this time to give a brief intermission just to kind of like give you guys a little bit of a peek into what you guys are going to be getting from me within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be pushing out these videos. I'm going to try to get you guys 2 to 3 videos a day because I know there's a lot of catching up that I have to do. This week is like my free week, so I'm able to get all that content out. But next week, it's going to be a little harder for me, so I'm just going to record a lot of videos. Some of them are going to be pre-records, and I'm just going to upload them. I'm going to edit them, upload them, and do it that way, and just upload them throughout the week. And y'all just going to keep getting content from me. And yeah, so that's a little bit of a breakdown of what's going to be happening over the next few weeks. Now, let's get back into the story. So, this is 2019. It's crazy. It's crazy how all of this shit happened, and I could never, like, understand why Fraudulent was the way he was with me, or even with Pretty. He was so jealous of Pretty. And when I tell you he was so jealous of Pretty, it's because Pretty was pretty. Pretty is pretty. My sis is pretty. My sister is pretty, okay? That's why Pretty's name is Pretty. Like, Fraudulent was so jealous of Pretty, and it was so bad. It was so bad to see how it's not even bad. It's just sad how bitches is just so jealous of you and envious of you and to be your own friends. Like, you really cannot trust bitches. And being Fraudulent's friend just taught me how to, like, not be so cool with people when you first meet them. Get to know your fucking friends. Get to know who you're about to enter into your life. And the minute you get a bad feeling about them, trust that shit and fucking leave. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna know that you avoided something that was going to be horrible for you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you want to always defend and protect yourself. So I just learned dealing with Fraudulent to just be more guarded about who I'm friends with. But yeah, like I said, Fraudulent used to get us into a lot of stuff. But now we're going to fast forward. We're going to skip past the time that Fraudulent had fucked the plug. That was the whole thing. We're going to skip past that. Y'all can go watch that video as well to get a backstory on that situation. But yeah, so Fraudulent fucked the plug or whatever. The day after that, and mind you, he had fucked the plug when we were still living with Frog and Butterfly. So this is after all of that. So now I'm staying with Fraudulent. Me, Fraudulent, and Pretty, we would hit the town, go out everywhere, do everything possible to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would do everything in our power to just make sure that, you know, we would always hang out and be connected. There was mad fun times. So now it comes down to one day, Fraudulent tells me, like, hey, Pretty wasn't around. Pretty was in Jersey visiting her grandmother or whatever. So yeah, Pretty was doing that. So Fraudulent told me, like, hey, let's go get our piercings, because we both had cash. My mom had just sent me over some good coin, because at this point, me and her tried to stock and fix everything. She said that she was just going to be there financially, so she was sending me coin. She sent me a good coin, so I went. Fraudulent had his own money, so he paid for his own piercings. But I had went and got my nose pierced, and I went and got my belly pierced. Both of those piercings, I had went and got those. I had went and got my belly and my nose. I miss my belly piercing. I'm thinking about getting it back in soon. If it does, I'm going to do a whole vlog for it and everything. But getting into that, I had got my belly pierced. So me and Fraudulent went back to Fraudulent's friend's house. We're going to call her Daisy. And we're going to call Fraudulent's younger sister Rose. So Daisy and Rose were cool people. You know, they didn't really like Pretty as much. They was, again, two bitches that was just jealous of Pretty. And, you know, a lot of these people that we used to hang out with that Fraudulent introduced us to were just jealous of Pretty. Like, girl, I get it. That's my sis. She's gorgeous. And I know you're going to be jealous because y'all bitches are ugly. Well, let me not say they're ugly, because they're really not ugly girls. But y'all must be insecure if you're going to keep hating on my bitch Pretty. Like, period. Like, y'all not gonna... Y'all always was fucking jealous of this bitch. And I love my bitch. Like, girl, we're not even gonna get into that. But we end up leaving from them. We end up leaving from the piercing place and heading to them. We get there. we start rolling. Everybody starts rolling up. I had copped 2/8. Fraudulent had copped an 1/8. I didn't initially tell Fraudulent that I was copping 2/8, but when we got there, I copped 2 and I put 1 in my purse, and then I had the other one that we were smoking out of, and Fraudulent had his own 1/8, and then these girls had their own 1/8, so everybody was just sitting there rolling up, smoking, sitting there chilling, vibing, playing music. Everything was calm, cool, copacetic. Then Pretty calls me on the phone. She's like, hey girl, I'm coming right now to the city. I'm coming to stay with y'all. I'ma chill with y'all. So I'm like, that Pretty. So then Pretty comes, we're chilling, and then me and Fraudulent go downstairs to go get Pretty. We bring Pretty upstairs to Daisy's house, and we're chilling in Daisy's room. Pretty comes. Pretty brings some bud from Jersey. We're all smoked. We all have our bud or whatever. I hand Pretty a backwood, and they tried to come at my sis for rolling the 1/8 in the backwood, but they were the ones that said they wanted the backwood thick. They wanted us to put mad weed in it. So what did Pretty do? Pretty took that 1/8, broke it down, and they act like Pretty used the whole 1/8. And mind you, this was weed that Pretty had bought. Pretty had bought this green. Sorry, I said the other word that I'm not supposed to say. Pretty had bought green from Jersey. So that was Pretty's weed. That was Pretty's green, girl. That was Pretty's. That belonged to Pretty. So why y'all was even saying anything in the first place? That confused the fuck out of me. But you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna leave that as it is. Pretty rolls it. They was flaming her for a little bit. We ended up smoking that shit. We got dumb high. We all sitting there smoking. Then me, Pretty, and all of them, we all decide to go downstairs. We're like, let's go downstairs to the deli. We go to the deli. We get some food. We sit in the park. We eating or whatever. We smoking again. Then we go back up to Daisy's crib. We grab whatever we need to grab, and then we head out. We just started running the streets. We was walking the streets or whatever. Walking the streets, and then somehow we ended up fucking getting more weed, came back to the crib. We went to the balcony this time. We all rolled up, we all smoked. Me, Pretty, and Fraudulent went back into Fraudulent's apartment. We slept the night. Pretty stayed with us for like 3 days and then went back to Jersey. Then it was just me and Fraudulent. Then we stayed living together for a pretty long time. I'm not gonna say what happened in 2020. I'm gonna leave 2020 over there. But there's some other story times that I need to get into. But we're gonna cut this one right here, guys. I know you guys were expecting me to continue on talking, but we're going to cut this story time right here, and I'm going to upload this one. This is part 2. So, well, this is episode 2. Episode 3, we're gonna be getting into a little bit of the stuff that we used to do together. Me, Fraudulent, and Pretty. And if you all want to see that video, make sure y'all subscribe, like, and comment on this video. This is Jade the Star, and I'm out.